Despite the saints' best efforts to establish Zion in Missouri, they again encountered hardship. As the number of church members in Jackson County increased, so did tensions and misunderstandings with the area's existing settlers. When political and religious differences led to suspicion and violence, the saints had no choice but to leave Missouri. Although the saints were not able to build the city of Zion in Missouri, they learned that Zion is more about a people than a place, and that being of one heart and of one mind and dwelling in righteousness is more about the state of their hearts than the state in which they live. Today, members of the church do not gather to one central location, but are encouraged to establish Zion wherever they live. Led by living prophets, today's church members seek to establish Zion in their hearts, in their homes and families, and in their congregations and communities. Joseph Smith prophesied, "This church will fill North and South America. It will fill the world." And indeed it has. As one modern prophet describes,
when the church was organized in 1830, it was composed of 6 people. So the prophet Joseph Smith presided at first over a very small group, but it grew to many thousands by the time of his martyrdom.
It took 117 years for the church to achieve 1 million members. The second million was achieved in 16 years, the third million in 9 years, the fourth million in 6 years, and the fifth million in just 3 years. In less than 2 decades, 3 million people have come into the church.
The church has become one large family scattered across the earth. There are now more than 13 million of us in 176 nations and territories. A marvelous and wonderful thing is coming to pass. The Lord is fulfilling his promise that his gospel shall be as the stone cut out of the mountain without hands, which would roll forth and fill the whole earth, as Daniel saw in vision. A great miracle is taking place right before our eyes.
A Latter-day Saint is quite an ordinary individual. We're not everywhere in the world, 14 millions of us, and this is only the beginning. We're taught to be in the world, but not of the world. Therefore, we live ordinary lives in ordinary families, mixed with the general population. We are taught not to lie or cheat or steal. We do not use profanity. We are positive and happy and not afraid of life. We are willing to mourn with those that mourn and comfort those that stand in need of comfort, and to stand as witnesses to God at times and in all things and in all places. If someone is looking for a church that requires very little, this is not the one. It is not easy to be a Latter-day Saint, but in the long run, it is the only course.
We are a worldwide church, brothers and sisters. Our membership is found across the globe. I admonish you to be good citizens of the nations in which you live and good neighbors in your communities, reaching out to those of other faiths as well as to our own. May we be tolerant as well as kind and loving to those who do not share our beliefs and our standards. The Savior brought to this earth a message of love and goodwill to all men and women. May we ever follow his example.